and welcome to ET Now Startup Central, India's first and only daily show dedicated to startups and entrepreneurship. I'm Chandra Srikanth, joining you live from India's startup capital, Bangalore. And Krishna, before anything else, let's wish our producer Neeraj Krishnan a very happy birthday, belated even so.
Absolutely. Here's wishing Neeraj Krishnan a fantastic year, full of fantastic startup centrals and lots more fun outside of that as well. But on that note, let's get a check on all that's making headlines here at ET Now Startup Central. Nikesh Arora is under the hawk eye. Reports suggest the American market regulator SEC is investigating SoftBank for alleged conflict of interest during Arora's tenure at the Japanese investment bank. MasterCard has made a strategic investment in Razorpay, a payment gateway startup. Razorpay will be working with MasterCard's Start Path program, a global effort to support startups developing the next generation of commerce and fintech technologies. We do have Harshal Mathur, CEO and founder of Razorpay, joining us live to take us through all the details. And home sharing platform Airbnb has significantly increased its marketing and has spent lots more here in recent weeks as it hopes to garner a bigger share of the Indian market. To understand its investment plans here and why it will stay different from the likes of Oyo and Stayzilla, we do have Amanpreet Bajaj, country manager of Airbnb, joining us on the show as well. Meanwhile, Cisco has kicked off its Launchpad initiative in Bengaluru today, aimed at mentoring startups and providing them access to Cisco's suite of technology and grants. We will be joined by Cisco's Amit Phadnis to take us through all the details on that front as well. But first up, let's get straight to our top story on the show, which is Nikesh Arora, who continues to haunt SoftBank more than a week after he stepped down, because media reports now say that the US market regulator SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, is probing the Japanese company over its former president's tenure. Isn't it, Chandra?
That's right, Krishna. You can say Nikesh Arora haunts SoftBank or SoftBank haunts Nikesh Arora. It's all the same. But Bloomberg reports that the SEC is indeed probing Nikesh Arora's tenure at SoftBank as president before he stepped down last week. Remember, when he stepped down, the narrative both from Nikesh Arora as well as SoftBank founder Masayoshi Son was that there was a difference in timeline expectations as far as they were concerned. While Nikesh Arora hoped to become CEO much sooner, Masayoshi Son was keen to continue in that role at least for the next 5 or 10 years. But remember, Nikesh Arora was already facing the heat from a group of investors who questioned his investment decisions, his alleged conflict of interest. Now, all that has again come back to haunt him because the SEC, according to Bloomberg, is probing these allegations. It's unclear at this point what action they can really take. It's at a very preliminary stage. We do have a statement from SoftBank, and they've just reiterated their findings last week that an independent committee on their board found absolutely no wrongdoing as far as Nikesh Arora is concerned. But now with the market regulator stepping in, it's certainly going to take away a lot of bandwidth as far as SoftBank is concerned, Krishna. But moving on from that, we have a Startup Central exclusive on the show today. We are joined by a fintech startup on the show, Razorpay, its founder and CEO, Harshal Mathur. Harshal, thank you so much for joining us on ET Now Startup Central. We believe you have a big announcement to make on the funding side. Take it away.
Yeah, thanks for welcoming. We have recently got an investment from MasterCard as a part of their strategic initiative to help us get access to their technology and to their knowledge base that they have built over the years. And with this, I think it's a new stage for the development of Razorpay. With this, we can take our goal of improving all Indians' online payment systems much further.
Right. Harshal, you've raised funding in a very tough environment, but fintech certainly seems to be the flavor of the year, so to say. Just take us through, how tough it was for you, and did the fact that, you were part of the Y Combinator program help you in a big way? We saw that helping clear tax at least. Take us through, your experiences as far as raising this round of funding is concerned.
Yeah, for us, so we were working with MasterCard closely since the start to get the knowledge and to get their expertise in the online payments. MasterCard has been the leader in the online payments globally, and we believe that their knowledge and technology that they have developed over the years can be used a lot towards our goals as well. So we got enrolled in their Start Park program. In fact, we are the only Indian company that was part of their Start Park program, which is basically a knowledge sharing initiative to help startups grow with the help of MasterCard's expertise and relationships. And for us, when we already had that relationship, they saw our product, they saw the technology, they saw the things that we are doing, and they felt it is in alignment with what MasterCard's intentions are in India as well. And with that, I think the investment was part of the same relationship to strengthen it further, to make it more long term, so that we can focus on building more tools as we scale up.
Right. Final couple of questions really, Harshil. You know, the payment space itself is going through some very interesting times. You have Samsung devices that come with fingerprint scanners. You have UPI, which is set to take off next month. Take us through, you know, what this means for Razorpay in terms of opportunity or threat, considering that, you know, you also compete with other payment gateways, wallets. Take us through that.
Yeah, for us, I think UPI is a very bold step from the government, and I think for us it's a very big opportunity. We being a tech and product focused company from day one, I think access to newer technology in form of UPI will be really a boon for us. It will allow us to develop newer products in the market, which were not possible because of ecosystem issues in the country so far. And I think all in all is a very good step for us. Right now we help merchants accept credit card, debit card, net banking, wallets. For us, UPI becomes another mode and a very interesting mode that I think could completely change the way fintech and the way online payments work right now. So from that point of view, I think they are very interesting times ahead.
Right. Lastly, Harshil, before let you go, at last count, I think you had what, like 33 angel investors, all the top guns from Snapdeal, Freecharge, InMobi. How difficult is it to manage so many investors?
I think angel investors, we look at it more as a good thing for us, because angel investors, unlike institutional VCs, don't really push you a lot, don't really push you really to do blunders or to take a lot of long steps. But what they help us a lot with is building the network. With their help, we can get connected to anyone in the whole ecosystem, and there are specific expertise that specific angels have, and we have been using them all over the last year to get specific advice wherever necessary. So I think managing itself is not being an issue for us. I think we look at it as a very positive way, because we have 33 angel investors, some of the top people helping us out in building the ecosystem.
Great. Harshil, thank you so much for breaking that big story right here on ED Now Startup Central. Congrats again on raising that round from MasterCard. And with that, Krishna, we come to another globally renowned unicorn that we have on the show, don't we?
Absolutely, Chandra. Home sharing platform Airbnb has significantly increased its marketing and spends here in India in the recent weeks because it hopes to garner a bigger share of the market over here. To understand its investment plans and why it will stay different from the likes of Oyo and Stayzilla, we do have Amanpreet Bajaj, Country Manager of Airbnb, joining us on the show. Amanpreet, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on ET Now Startup Central. It's been 1.5 years since you took charge at Airbnb. It was largely low profile, but now it has become this, extremely visible brand. Your co-founder also visited India recently. Take us through the growth that you see for yourself in this market and the trends that you witnessed.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We are at a very exciting stage in India today. India is a thriving economy. More people are traveling, whether it's domestically or overseas. More and more people are logging onto the internet. So we see this as a great opportunity for Airbnb to increase its footprint in India. If you see, experts have pegged the India travel market at about $40 billion by 2020. And increasingly, we are seeing a lot of this business happening on Airbnb. So, just to give you numbers, our listings in India have grown grown by about 115% year on year. Inbound travel into multiple Indian cities has grown by about 184%, and this is going to multiple cities within India. Indians traveling overseas as a number is also increasing multifold, so that's about 185% growth year on year. So really, we have built a lot of great momentum in India, and I think more and more Indians are now looking to have unique, authentic local experiences via Airbnb. So very exciting times here in growing the market right now.
Amanpreet, take us through the model that you will bring to India. I mean, will it be the same home sharing model? The most comparable competitors here in Oyo or Estezilla have gone the aggregation way. But do you see a strong case, to continue the home sharing model in India as well?
Sure. Airbnb is a pioneer in the global home sharing model, and we would want to continue with that model in India. So clearly the names that you've mentioned, there are different value propositions that each one of us offer. We believe the hospitality market is growing very vast, and it's a big market for all of us to coexist. The idea is, we want more and more Indians to seek unique, local and authentic experiences by staying with locals. And I think that's a new way of travel that more and more people are seeking. So we would want to continue with that model in India. And as I said, we've seen some great growth. So we have more than 18,000 listings in India now, spread across more than 100 cities throughout the country. And these are people sharing their homes. There are people sharing private rooms, entire apartments. We have listings at various price points. So you could end up, if you want a room in a small city like Dehradun, you could get a private room there, or you could end up booking an entire apartment or a home in, say, a city like Bombay, or even a penthouse for about 10,000 rupees a night. Or you could even end up spending, a weekend with your friends in a luxurious villa in Goa with pool access and all those amenities. So we want to offer a breadth of offerings, and we see all of those coming in India. What's unique and amazing in India is that, we have some great unique places also coming on the platform. So we have houseboats in different parts of the country. We have earth and mud houses, which is very unique to India, and forts and palaces and old havelis that are coming, in places like Rajasthan. So clearly, a lot of unique places are on offer for people to seek unique experiences in India.
All right, Aman, I want to understand, are there cultural issues attached as well as far as home sharing in India as a concept is concerned? Out of the listings that you have so far, take us to the majority of people who have opened out their homes in terms of cities. And also, are these people who own multiple homes, as investments?
So I think it's a blend of everything. People are sharing private rooms. In fact, some of our most interesting host stories come from people who are sharing up their homes and inviting people to stay with them. Again, our host community in India is very diverse and varied. A lot of people have taken up hosting in India in multiple cities. So it's not just a big metro phenomena, as you said, but I think we're seeing growth in tier 2, tier 3 towns and big tourist destinations and big metros. And there are multiple reasons for people to start hosting. We have professionals on the platform that look at additional income coming from hosting to pursue their passions. A lot of great stories that we hear from retired officials or senior citizens who have taken up hosting in India, where they have empty spaces in their houses, but they're monetizing that by bringing in more and more house guests. So a clear story, I met up with a host couple from Agra very recently, and they had a very interesting story to share. Their children have moved out of their homes studying abroad, so they have a place, and they were very lonely per se, but over the last 1.5 years they have hosted more than 200 guests from around the world, and they clearly say that this has brought a cheer to their lives, and basically they say they don't even have to step out of their homes to travel. So Airbnb is bringing travel to their doorsteps. There are multiple motivations for people to start hosting in India, and we see a great brand across the country.
Amanpreet, globally, Airbnb is also on a mega funding drive. I mean, there was a report yesterday that said they're looking to raise $500 million at some $30 billion valuation. How much of that is going to come to India? Take us through your investment plans going forward.
So India is definitely a strategically important market for Airbnb, and you heard our co-founder Nathan talk about it earlier this year when he visited the country. So India is one of the top markets to focus on this year. We are seeing good growth and good momentum across all the segments that I mentioned. So we will continue to invest in areas whichever it is necessary. In terms of marketing, clearly we want more and more Indians to get exposed to the concept of Airbnb, and our recent marketing campaign Live There, which we recently launched, is basically aimed at educating more and more people about the authentic and magical experiences that the Airbnb platform has to offer. So clearly, we are a priority for the company as a whole. The momentum is helping us in build up a great growth story, and we are focused on understanding the local dynamics of the market and localize and adapt as much as possible so that our community in India gets the best benefit of the Airbnb platform.
All right, Aman, take us through the goals and more importantly, the traction that you expect to see for Airbnb in the Indian market over the next year or so, considering you have stepped up all kinds of efforts over here.
So our goals are very clear. We want to bring this concept to more and more people in India, and we are seeing this take off in multiple markets. We would continue to invest in making more and more people aware about this. We would continue to invest so that more and more people understand the benefits of hosting as well as the benefits of traveling on Airbnb. And we see that this number of growth would only increase from here and here. So I cannot comment on specific goals, but all I can say is that we are going all out in building the market in India so that more and more Indians get a great opportunity to have magical experiences on Airbnb.
Finally, Amanpreet, before we let you go, on the monetization side, a lot of internet companies say they face challenge in India because of the high customer acquisition costs that they see here compared to other markets. Take us through how your own experience has been in this area.
So, if you look at our growth in the past few years, it has been great. Our community helps us bring a lot of word of mouth. So a lot of people have come onto the platform after hearing some great experiences that people have had when they travel on Airbnb. So when we look at this model, we feel that if the value proposition is right, more and more people would come on board, and then travel is something that you do multiple times in a year, whether it's international or domestic. So we see that there is great potential in introducing this concept to Indian people, and when people love it and have positive experiences, they would want to do more and more of this. So we are seeing some healthy repeat rates in India, and we are very confident that more and more people would want to travel on Airbnb going forward.
Amanpreet Bajaj, thank you so much for joining us exclusively on Startup Central here. Certainly look forward to Airbnb in the coming months and year. But with that, Krishna, we move on to one piece of news that startups can definitely use, because Cisco has kicked off its Launchpad initiative in Bangalore, through which it hopes to mentor a lot of startups and also provide them access to Cisco's technology. To give us more details on that, we have Amit Phadnis of Cisco joining us on the show today. Amit, quickly take us through this Launchpad initiatives and the kind of work that it plans to do as far as startups and developers are concerned.
Yes, absolutely. So, look, we are actually very pleased to announce a new initiative. This is actually a new chapter in the Cisco's innovation journey in the country. As you know, we have invested heavily in Cisco India already. We have 11,000 employees. We have created a large number of new products from this center. But what we are announcing today is creation of a new platform called Cisco Launchpad. It's a platform on which we are bringing together startup community, the partner community, as well as Cisco from a technology perspective, as well as from a go-to-market standpoint, to solve the problems for the next 3 billion people and create opportunities for people to digitize through the 50 billion devices that are going to get connected over internet over next 5 to 7 years time frame. So I believe it's a unique opportunity and a unique initiative, because it's the first time that we are seeing a large company like Cisco bringing together the partner community that Cisco has, like Tech Mahindra and other partners we have in the country, including TCS, Cognizant, Wipro, there are a number of partners that we work with. We are bringing them together on this Launchpad along with the startup community and creating use cases for the next 3 billion people that we need to solve problems for. I think what is interesting here is that, if you really look at the pace of change, we are in an era where, changes are happening very rapidly. The first 3 billion people took 25 years to get onto internet. We see that the next 3 billion people and 50 billion devices are going to come on internet in next 5 to 7 years time frame. These 3 billion people, interestingly, are in different geographies, right, as compared to the first 3 billion people. They are in India, they are in China, they are in Southeast Asia, they are in Africa and Latin America, as well as Eastern Europe.
Amit, this is Krishna here from 18 Hours Mumbai studios. Cisco's chairman, John Chambers, did announce in March this year that the company will invest $100 million in Indian startups, and it's already funded over 25. Tell us, so is this the Launchpad initiative part of that corpus, or how different is it?
Yes, actually, this everything that we are doing now is actually very complementary, right? We look at India as a big talent base. We also look at India as a place where there is a rapid digitization that is going to happen. And what you've seen John talking about in March is a very large investment that we are bringing to the table to help the startup community at large. So this is a very complementary initiative to what John has already said through our CDA program. Essentially what we are saying is that we will work with these startups, we'll help them through a mentorship program, we will also get them in touch with the partner community, and very importantly from a go-to-market perspective, we will help them to go to market. Now our corporate development team is a very much a part of this particular program. We are going to make sure that the startups who graduate from this program have the access to the entire 280 million that we have committed into the startup community in India so far over last decade or so, so that they can tap into that. We will expose them to the VC community, and we'll also help them go to market ourselves. So essentially what you will see is that this particular program actually adds to what John said and makes it even more complete and complementary, so that we actually help the startups not just from a funding perspective, but we also help them from go-to-market standpoint as well as from a mentorship standpoint. And we connect them to the partner community too, right? Because the partner community that we have in India is a very large developer base. And what we are seeing is that the digital solutions that we are talking about are very application centric. We are talking of new age applications that need to get developed, and the partners are going to play a very important role in that journey overall.
All right, Amit, I'm afraid we'll have to wrap it up at that. Amit Phadnis of Cisco, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on ET Now Startup Central. But with that, we've completely run out of time here on this edition of ET Now Startup Central, Chandra. So it's a wrap, but don't go anywhere. Keep watching ET Now. Coming up next is Market Watch.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.